Alright everyone, Linus here, and let's be real for a second. Windows, it's familiar, it works most of the time, but let's be honest, it can be a real pain in the, those forced updates that hit you at the worst possible time, the ever-growing collection of bloatware you never asked for, and don't even get me started on that spinning wheel of doom. But what if I told you there's a better way? What if you could escape the Windows walled garden without sacrificing that familiar feel? Imagine a world with no forced updates, no bloatware slowing you down, and where your privacy is actually respected. Sound too good to be true? Well, it's not. Today we're diving headfirst into the world of Linux, but not just any Linux. We're talking about 11 distros specifically designed to feel like home for you Windows users. We're talking sleek interfaces, intuitive controls, and even the ability to run some of your favorite Windows applications. So buckle up, because we're about to blow your mind and show you just how easy and awesome switching to Linux can be. Stick around till the end for a special bonus tip that'll make your transition even smoother. Trust me, you don't want to miss this. First up, we're kicking things off with a heavy hitter in the Linux world, Linux Mint. Think of it as Windows 7's cooler, more customizable younger sibling. You boot it up and bam, that sense of familiarity washes over you. It's got your start menu right there in the bottom left corner, your taskbar laid out just the way you like it, and even a system tray for all those handy little icons. But here's where things get really interesting. Linux Mint isn't just about mimicking Windows, it's about taking those familiar elements and making them even better. Remember the old control panel in Windows? Well, Linux Mint has its own version, but it's been streamlined and organized to make finding what you need a breeze. And for all you productivity junkies out there, Linux Mint comes bundled with LibreOffice, a powerful and completely free alternative to Microsoft Office. That's right, no more shelling out hundreds of dollars just to edit a document or crunch some numbers. And don't even worry about compatibility. LibreOffice can open, edit, and save files in all the major Microsoft formats. But wait, there's more. Linux Mint is built on top of Ubuntu LTS, which stands for Long-Term Support. What does that mean for you? Rock-solid stability and security updates for years to come. We're talking 5 years of support, so you can install it and forget about major upgrades until, get this, 2029. Now, you might be thinking, okay Linus, this all sounds great, but is Linux Mint really that easy to use? And the answer is a resounding yes. In fact, we've got real-world proof. One Reddit user, Windows Exile, shared their story, and it goes a little something like this. I installed Mint on my mom's PC. She didn't even notice it wasn't Windows. And that's the beauty of Linux Mint. It's so intuitive and user-friendly that even your not-so-tech-savvy relatives can make the switch without breaking a sweat. They'll be browsing the web, checking their email, and editing documents like pros in no time. And the best part is, you won't be getting those panicked phone calls asking for tech support every 5 minutes. But it's not just about ease of use. Linux Mint is also incredibly powerful. Underneath that familiar exterior lies a robust operating system capable of handling everything from everyday tasks to more demanding applications like video editing and even some light gaming. And because it's open source, there's a massive community of developers constantly working on new features, improvements, and bug fixes. So whether you're a Windows user looking for a breath of fresh air or you're just tired of all the bloat and privacy concerns, Linux Mint is definitely worth checking out. It's free, it's easy to use, and it just works. What more could you ask for? Alright folks, if Linux Mint is the friendly, familiar face of Linux, then Zorin OS is the ultimate Windows imposter. Seriously, this distro is so good at mimicking Windows, it'll have you doing a double take. And we're not just talking about a superficial resemblance here. Zorin OS goes all out, especially in its Pro Edition. We're talking about a near-identical layout to Windows 11, complete with a centered taskbar, rounded corners, and even those fancy new translucent windows. You can even switch between different desktop layouts with a single click, going from a Windows-like experience to a more Mac-OS-inspired look in seconds. It's like having multiple operating systems in one. But here's the kicker. The thing that really sets Zorin OS apart, it comes with Wine pre-installed. Now, for those of you who don't know, Wine is like a magic translator that allows you to run many Windows applications directly on Linux. That's right, you can finally ditch that clunky virtual machine and use your favorite Windows apps natively. And we're not just talking about simple apps here. Zorin OS can handle some pretty heavy hitters. Want to play a quick game of Among Us with your friends? No problem. Need to edit some photos in Photoshop? Zorin OS has got you covered. It's like having the best of both worlds, all in one sleek and powerful package. Now, I know what you're thinking, Linus, this all sounds amazing, but isn't Wine notoriously difficult to set up and use? And to that I say, not anymore. Zorin OS has made running Windows apps on Linux easier than ever before. In fact, I'm willing to bet I can install Discord via Wine in under 30 seconds. Ready to see it in action? And that, my friends, is the power of Zorin OS. It breaks down the barriers between Windows and Linux, giving you the freedom to choose the best operating system for your needs without sacrificing compatibility. It's perfect for those who are hesitant to switch to Linux because they rely on specific Windows-only software. But Zorin OS isn't just about compatibility, it's also about choice. With its multiple desktop layouts, you can customize the look and feel of your operating system to perfectly match your workflow and preferences. And because it's based on Ubuntu, you know you're getting a stable, secure, and reliable operating system that's backed by a massive community. So if you're looking for a Linux distro that looks and feels like Windows but with the added flexibility and freedom of Linux, Zorin OS is definitely worth checking out. It's the perfect way to dip your toes into the world of Linux without feeling completely overwhelmed. Alright, moving on to number 3, we've got Ubuntu 24.04 LTS. You know Ubuntu, right? It's like the Beyoncé of Linux distros, everybody and their dog has heard of it. And there's a good reason for all the hype, folks. Now, Ubuntu's known for marching to the beat of its own drum with its GNOME desktop. You might even say it looks a little, different from Windows, but don't click away just yet, we can fix that. With just a couple of extensions, Ubuntu can be customized to look pretty much exactly like Windows 10. And the best part? Ubuntu 24.04 is a long-term support release. That means you get a rock-solid 5 years of updates. Yeah, you heard that right. Install it now, and you won't have to think about upgrading again until 2029. Now, I know what you're thinking. Linus, why would I want to make Ubuntu look like Windows? And it's a fair question, but listen, not everyone's ready to dive headfirst into the deep end of the Linux pool. Some people just want that familiar feeling while they're dipping their toes in the water. And for those people, Ubuntu 24.04 LTS is perfect. It's got all the stability and reliability of a long-term support release, with the added bonus of being able to transform into a comfy, familiar Windows-like environment. Plus, Ubuntu's got this massive community. We're talking forums, wikis, Reddit threads, you name it. So if you run into any issues, and trust me, you probably won't, help is just a Google search away. And did I mention it plays nice with pretty much every piece of hardware under the sun? Pro tip: on-screen install dash to panel and ARC menu for a Windows 10 vibe. Up next at number 4, we've got Kubuntu 24.04. Now, if you thought Zorin OS was a Windows doppelganger, wait till you get a load of this. Kubuntu uses KDE Plasma for its desktop environment, and let me tell you, it's like Windows 11's long-lost twin. We're talking a centered taskbar, a system tray that actually makes sense, and window controls that'll make you do a double-take. Seriously, if you showed this to a die-hard Windows user, they'd probably just assume it's some kind of fancy new theme. And it's not just a pretty face, folks. KDE Plasma is known for being incredibly smooth and responsive, even on older hardware. Plus, it's got this level of customization that'll make your head spin. You can tweak literally everything to your liking. Want to move the taskbar to the top? Go for it. Prefer your window buttons on the left? No problem. And the best part? Kubuntu comes with this awesome app store called Discover. Now I know what you're thinking. Linux app stores? Aren't those usually a bit, well, rough around the edges? And you wouldn't be entirely wrong. But Discover is different. It's clean, it's intuitive, and it's packed with all the apps you know and love. Looking for Firefox? It's there. Need LibreOffice for some serious document editing? Boom! One-click install? And yeah, okay, it's not quite as packed as the Microsoft Store, but it's got everything you need to get up and running. Plus, with KDE Plasma's incredible customization options, you can even make Discover look and feel just like the Microsoft Store if you really want to. Alright, coming in at number 5, we've got a distro that's near and dear to my heart, Linux Lite 6.6. And let me tell you, this one's a lifesaver. Have you got an old laptop gathering dust in a closet somewhere? One that barely chugs along with Windows 10? Well, Linux Lite is about to give that old dog a whole new lease on life. We're talking blazing fast performance on even the most ancient hardware. This distro is so lightweight it'll run on a potato. Okay, maybe not a potato, but you get the idea. We're talking Pentium processors and 512 megabytes of RAM, folks. This thing sips resources like it's going out of style. And don't let the name fool you, Linux Lite isn't just some bare-bones distro with a coat of paint. It's actually based on Ubuntu LTS, which means you get all the stability and compatibility of Ubuntu, but in a package that's leaner than a marathon runner. Now I know what you're thinking. Linus, I've heard all this before. Every lightweight Linux distro claims to be super fast. And you're right, there are a lot of contenders out there, but Linux Lite 6.6 is the real deal. We're talking boot times that'll make your head spin. And I'm not exaggerating, we actually did a side-by-side comparison with Windows 10 on an old laptop. Want to see the results? Yeah, you saw that right. Linux Lite booted up in a fraction of the time it took Windows 10 to even show the login screen. And once you're in, forget about lag, folks. This thing flies. Applications open instantly, websites load in a flash. It's like you've got a brand new computer. Alright gamers, listen up. This distro's for you. Pop! OS is like that friend who always gets you early access betas. Developed by System 76, the guys who make those sleek Linux laptops, it's optimized for gaming performance. And when I say optimized, I mean it. Pop! OS uses something called game mode, which is basically like giving your CPU a shot of espresso. It prioritizes gaming processes, so you get those buttery smooth frame rates even on older hardware. And forget about messing around with drivers. Pop! OS plays nice with NVIDIA right out of the box. It even comes with Steam pre-installed so you can jump into your favorite titles in no time. Speaking of Steam, we gotta talk about Proton. Proton is like magic, turning your favorite Windows games into Linux-compatible masterpieces. And Pop! OS fully embraces it. So yeah, fire up Cyberpunk, Elden Ring, whatever your jam is, and get ready for a glorious stutter-free experience. Now you might be thinking, okay great, but is it just for gaming? Nope. Pop! OS is built on Ubuntu, so it's rock solid for everyday use. Think of it as a high-performance machine that can also handle your grandma's email. It's got a clean, minimalist desktop that's easy to navigate even if you're fresh off the Windows boat. Plus, it inherits Ubuntu's massive software library. Need a video editor? Done. Want to try out some 3D modeling? No problem. And here's a bonus for all you keyboard warriors. Pop! OS has awesome keyboard shortcuts and workspaces. So, you can be alt-tabbing between spreadsheets and Discord chats like a pro. And yeah, the tiling window management is pretty sweet too. So, whether you're a hardcore gamer or just want a snappy, powerful system, Pop! OS deserves a serious look. It's the perfect blend of gaming performance and everyday usability. Plus, with its focus on open source, you know you're supporting a good cause. Alright folks, time to talk about Arch Linux. Now, Arch has a reputation. It's powerful, it's customizable, but it's also known for being a bit, let's say, hands-on with its installation. Not exactly beginner-friendly, but fear not, because Manjaro KDE is here to save the day. It's like the friendly tour guide to the sometimes intimidating world of Arch. You get all the benefits of Arch's bleeding-edge software and speed, but with a much gentler learning curve. And when we say bleeding edge, we mean it. Manjaro uses a rolling release model, which means you're constantly getting the latest and greatest software updates. No more waiting for those big clunky OS upgrades. But the real star of the show here is KDE Plasma. This desktop environment is known for its beauty, flexibility, and make-it-your-own attitude. And trust me, once you go Plasma, you might not ever go back. One of the coolest things about Manjaro, and Arch in general, is the AUR, or Arch User Repository. Think of it like a massive, community-driven app store, but way cooler. The AUR has pretty much every piece of software you can imagine, often packaged specifically for Arch. And the best part? Installing from the AUR is stupid easy in Manjaro. Just open up the built-in package manager, type in what you want, and boom. It's like magic, but with less glitter and more lines of code. But Manjaro isn't just about geeking out over software repositories. KDE Plasma gives you incredible customization options. Want your desktop to look like a Windows clone? Done. Want to go full-on cyberpunk with neon icons and a transparent terminal? No problem. So, if you're looking for a Linux distro that's powerful, customizable, and always up-to-date, Manjaro KDE is calling your name. It's the perfect blend of user-friendliness and Arch's raw power. Just be prepared to lose hours tweaking your desktop to perfection. Okay, let's be real. Not everyone's rocking the latest and greatest hardware. Some of us are still clinging to our trusty old laptops, refusing to let them go. And you know what? That's awesome, because MX Linux is specifically designed to breathe new life into those aging machines. Based on the rock-solid Deepin Linux, MX Linux is all about stability, speed, and efficiency. It's like the grandpa of Linux distros, but in a good way. You know, the kind of grandpa who still chops his own firewood and can outrun you in a foot race. But don't let its age fool you. MX Linux is packed with modern features and a surprisingly polished user experience. It comes with the XFCE desktop environment, which is known for its simplicity and low resource usage. We're talking buttery smooth performance, even on systems with less RAM than a potato. And speaking of potatoes, MX Linux can even run on those ancient PCs gathering dust in your basement. You know, the ones with the floppy disk drives and the CRT monitors. It's the perfect way to give those old machines a new lease on life. Now, one of the things that sets MX Linux apart is its suite of system tools, appropriately named MX Tools. This is where MX Linux really shines, offering a level of control and customization that's rare, even in the Linux world. It's like having a Swiss Army knife for your operating system. Need to resize a partition? MX Tools has got you covered. Want to create a live USB drive of your perfectly configured system? No problem. How about easily setting up system snapshots for bulletproof backups? MX Tools does it all, and more. But the real magic of MX Tools lies in its simplicity. Even if you're brand new to Linux, you'll have no problem navigating its intuitive interface and finding the tools you need. It's like having a personal IT support team built right into your OS. So, whether you're looking for a fast, lightweight distro for your aging laptop, or you just want a powerful and customizable system that's easy to use, MX Linux is definitely worth checking out. It's the perfect blend of old-school reliability and modern features. Plus, it's free, so you've got nothing to lose. Alright, devs. If you crave the bleeding edge, the raw power of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, but want a desktop experience that won't leave you fumbling, Fedora 42 is your jam. Think of it as the refined older brother rocking the latest GNOME desktop. Now GNOME can be a bit of a departure from Windows, we get it. But that's where Fedora's thoughtful tweaks come in. They've sprinkled in just enough familiarity to make you feel right at home. You've got your easy-to-navigate applications menu, a slick system tray, and workspaces for days to keep your projects organized. And hey, we know some things just run better in their native environment. That's why Fedora makes it dead simple to spin up a Windows virtual machine using GNOME boxes. It's like having a Windows PC right inside your Linux desktop, perfect for those legacy apps, or, let's be honest, the occasional gaming session. So, whether you're a seasoned developer who lives and breathes command lines or you're just dipping your toes into the world of Linux, Fedora provides a rock-solid foundation with a surprisingly familiar face. Let's talk about why Fedora is a developer darling. First off, the software repositories are packed with the latest programming languages, libraries, and tools. We're talking Python, Java, C++, you name it, Fedora's got you covered. And the package manager DNF makes installing and managing all this software a breeze. No more wrestling with dependencies or scouring the web for obscure installation instructions. DNF handles it all with a few simple commands. But here's the real kicker. Fedora's rapid release cycle means you're always on the bleeding edge of technology. They push out new versions every 6 months, packed with the latest and greatest features. So you know you're always working with the most up-to-date tools and technologies. Bottom line, if you're serious about coding, if you want a system that's stable, secure, and always pushing the boundaries, Fedora is your new best friend. Plus, it's from the same family as Red Hat Enterprise Linux, so you know it's built to last. Alright, next up is Garuda Linux. A distro that's not for the faint of heart. This is for the folks who want their operating system to be as visually stunning as their gaming rig. And let me tell you, Garuda delivers. It's built on Arch Linux, so you know it's got the latest and greatest software, but it's also got this whole dragonized theme going on. We're talking sleek, customizable desktops with tons of eye candy, from custom icons and widgets to these crazy cool animations. It's like the developers took a flamethrower to the traditional Linux desktop and said, let's make this thing epic. And you know what? They kind of succeeded. But Garuda isn't just about looks. It's also packing some serious performance under the hood. It uses the BTRF's file system, which is known for its speed and data integrity features, and it comes pre-configured with a bunch of performance tweaks to make your games run buttery smooth. So, if you're tired of the same old Linux distros and want something that's a little more extra, Garuda might just be your jam. Now, one of the coolest things about Garuda is its use of BTRFs. See, BTRFs has this awesome feature called snapshots. Imagine this, you're about to install a sketchy driver or mess around with some system settings, but you're worried about bricking your whole system. Well, with BTRF snapshots, you can create a save point of your entire system before you do anything risky. Think of it like a time machine for your computer. If something goes wrong, you can just roll back to the snapshot, and it's like the problem never even happened. It's like having a safety net for your entire operating system. And Garuda makes it super easy to use. They've got a built-in tool called TimeShift that lets you create and restore snapshots with just a few clicks. So, whether you're a seasoned Linux pro or a newcomer who's a little bit afraid of breaking things, don't worry, we've all been there, Garuda's got your back. It's like having a guardian angel watching over your system, making sure you can tinker and experiment without the fear of utter disaster. Alright gamers, listen up. If you've ever wanted to ditch Windows and game on Linux but were held back by compatibility issues, Nobara Linux is here to change the game. Literally. This distro is built specifically for gaming, and it's got one goal in mind, to make your Linux gaming experience as smooth and hassle-free as possible. We're talking out-of-the-box support for NVIDIA and AMD graphics cards, pre-configured gaming tools like Steam Proton and Wine, and even custom kernels optimized for performance. Nobara takes all the guesswork out of Linux gaming and just lets you get straight to the fun stuff, playing your favorite games. But here's the kicker. Nobara is built on Fedora Linux, which means it's also incredibly stable and reliable. So, you're not just getting a gaming powerhouse, you're getting a rock-solid operating system that can handle whatever you throw at it. And speaking of throwing things at it, Nobara also comes with everything you need to stream your gameplay to the world. It's got OBS Studio pre-installed and ready to go, along with all the codecs and plugins you need for high-quality streaming. And because it's so well optimized for gaming, you can be sure that your streams will be smooth and lag-free, even when you're pushing your system to the limit. But Nobara doesn't stop there. It also includes a bunch of other tools and utilities that are super useful for gamers, like Discord for chatting with your friends, Lutris for managing your game library, and even MangoHUD for monitoring your system performance in real time. It's like the developers sat down with a bunch of hardcore Linux gamers and said, what do you need to have the best possible gaming experience? And then they went and built it. So there you have it, folks. 11 Linux distros that prove you don't have to choose between a familiar, user-friendly experience and the power and flexibility of Linux. Whether you're a Windows switcher, a gamer, or just someone who wants to try something new, there's a Linux distro out there. And let me know which distro you end up trying in the comments below.